So how's it going? My name is Scott Newman. I'm the broker and owner, managing broker and owner of Newman Realty here in Chicago, with my partner Lauren Mitrick and my father Alan Newman. As of the date and time of this video, we are one of the top 10 producing teams in all of Chicago. We specialize in a number of different things, and all those things we excel in. Short sales, foreclosures, rentals, the high-end luxury market, the regular old retail stuff. We do a ton of work in the suburbs, the city, really anywhere in the greater Chicagoland area, and that's what really makes us unique. This is a young office, it's an animated office, it's high tech, high energy, lots of synergy going on. And as you can imagine, if you had a camera in here for even a couple minutes, I'm sure you'd catch plenty of TV-worthy moments. Now for the questions you wanted me to address.
What is your support system like in your life, and how is your family important to you?
Family is one of the most important things to me in the world. I currently live with my girlfriend, Julie Park. We actually are just getting our first new addition to our family, which is a new puppy, which we're picking up today. I'm extremely close with my parents. My father is my business partner, if that doesn't say enough. I see my family every single day. My sister, my cousins all live downtown, and we are just like best friends. Literally every day I'm seeing my family. And as far as support system, they've been unbelievably supportive of me since the first day I can remember of my life. Everything I've ever wanted to try, everything I've ever wanted to do, they've been there to have my back, and they continue to do so. And I just wouldn't be anywhere that I am today if it wasn't for their love and support unconditionally.
If you could change one thing through your work to better the world, what would it be? Why are you passionate about that from your own personal experience?
You know, I think that the real estate industry, especially in Chicago, affords me the ability to change the world, at least the world that I live in. We are part of the most important transaction and decision that most people will ever make. And as a realtor, we get to be part of the rejuvenation of neighborhoods, the betterment of neighborhoods. The changing of the guard, so to speak, is something that we carefully stand watch over. And doing this for 10 years even, I've been part of new construction deals in neighborhoods 10 years ago and gone back to those neighborhoods 10 years later and just been blown away by the retail, residential, commercial development, the enlightenment of these neighborhoods, the growth of these neighborhoods, the changes in the median income and the compositions, and it's been an incredible thing to watch. That combined with the philanthropic efforts that we're constantly undertaking in a variety of different ways in the city of Chicago further allow us to get back. And I think the buzzword or the buzz phrase is be part of the solution. That's something that we're extremely passionate here about at Newman Realty.
What makes you the most fed up with other brokers in the city? What gets under your skin?
That's an easy one. There's just two things I cannot and will not accept, and if you display either one of these characteristics, you will hear about it from me in a very blunt way. Laziness and stupidity. I think agents in this business, far too many of us, do not take this job seriously, and we never stop and think about the fact that we're responsible for helping someone spend hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars of their hard-earned money. And the reality is that I take such pride and passion, and I've instilled those values in everybody on this team that works for me, and I will not tolerate that on my end. And when I see other agents not giving the care and attention to their clients, to this business, to this industry, to our city that it deserves, I get steam coming out of my ears, and that's when the words start to fly, because I consider myself to be a shepherd of this business and a shepherd of this city, and I want the best people around doing the best for everybody in this city, whether it's for Newman Realty or not.
Have you ever lost your cool with a client? Who is the most demanding client you've ever had, and can you give an example?
Oh God, I could sit here all day and fill up the entire memory on this phone. All clients are difficult, all clients are great in their own way. I've had clients that have expected me to clean up their dog throw up, walk their dog around the block when they're not home, pick them up from the airport, any insane request that you can possibly think of. I've been expected to do, and the reality is I usually do it with a smile on my face, because that's what this business is. This is a willingness to do anything and everything to meet your client's expectations, to exceed those expectations, and to bend over backwards to get the job done. It's just so hard to speak negatively of a client, because as much as I've yelled at people, lost my cool with people, absolutely lost my temper, which I do all the time, it's always tinged with the utmost respect for people, because at the end of the day, those clients, for as much as they might be frustrating us, that's the reason that we're in business, and I always try to show the utmost respect to that fact.
What is success for you? Why is it important for you to succeed?
Success for me is cultivating success in others. I was born into a family with some great DNA, and I was born to be a salesman. I was born to do this job, and I've got a dad who taught me all the ropes from the beginning, how to be a great salesperson and exceed at customer service and how to treat people right. For me, More importantly, though, success is being able to take someone who maybe didn't have all those opportunities, that inborn training or the network that I was lucky enough to have from day one, and teaching them how to build it, how to build themselves up from somebody who's just getting into this business to a top producer. And it's not just about business, it's about life. I mean, I really pride myself on doing everything I can to make sure the people that work underneath me are well-rounded individuals. Again, good shepherds of the community, of the cities that we serve, of the clients that we serve, you know, the industry that we serve, making sure that the love and passion that we have for this business comes through in every single thing that we do.
What is the nicest thing you do on a regular basis, and what is the meanest thing you do?
You know, one of my favorite things that my girlfriend and I do for clients and for people in my network is we do what we call like flower bombs. There's a wonderful local flower shop in the new neighborhood that we moved into, and we've made friends with the owners who've been there for 50 years. And they have the most beautiful flowers, and I love supporting local businesses. And we go in there once a month, and we'll pick out 5 or 10 people, and we'll go in there and we'll get a beautiful bouquet for them. And I'll just have Julie go around to their homes or their offices or their condo buildings and just drop those flowers off. No advanced warning, and just a little note. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a big life moment. Just thanking them for a referral, thanking them for being a good client, letting them know we enjoyed having dinner or drinks with them the night before. And the way that people react to that is just incredible. You know, and it's just a really easy way for us to show love. And that's so important to me in this business, is love, because there's so much animosity out there. And you know, when you can bond together with people and come out the better for it, I think that's a big part of what this business is all about. The meanest thing, and something that I try to work on, but I certainly think I have to admit would make great TV. I've got a terrible temper, and you know, going back to the laziness and stupidity. You know, if someone challenges me, if someone displays those characteristics, if someone tries to get one over on my client or lie to me, I will rip their head off. You know, I have absolutely no problem putting somebody in their place. I have no problem looking them in the eye and telling them exactly what I think of them. And I really am an advocate for this business and this city. And as much as I wish I could work on it, and I am, the meanest thing I do, and I do it routinely, is just absolutely let people have it. And as much as it's usually justified and funny, to be totally honest with you, it is something I'd like to improve upon. But let's face it makes for great TV.
What are some of your strongest opinions about your industry, and why do you feel so strongly about it?
You know, I'm a huge advocate for education and standards. I was one of the first ones as an active member of the Chicago Association of Realtors to stand up and say, I think we should be charging our members more to be part of the association. Let's get the riffraff out. I was also a big champion of increasing the standards exponentially in order to get a license and to remain licensed in terms of continuing education. I think the standards for getting into this business are too low. And that's why, in a lot of ways, many people out there in the community regard us as no better than used car salesmen, to be stereotypical. And I think that's BS. And I think that by increasing the standards that we're held to, increasing the expectations that we can have working with one another as we come into a transaction or come into interactions with one another, I think that's the absolute best way to change this business for the better, both here and nationally and globally.
What is interesting about selling and buying homes in Chicago? What do you hope to show in a TV series?
You know, I think this is such a unique cultural and architectural city. And, you know, you're going from showing a brand new construction limestone building in the West Town neighborhood to showing a 100-year-old building, you know, pre-fire, that's been converted beautifully for $2 million. There's just such a diversification of the types of properties, of the price points. There's lake views, there's city views, there's high rises, there's low rises, Victorian style, Gothic style. I mean, you name it, we've got it here. And every day is an adventure. You never know what you're going to walk into. Some of the most beautiful properties in Chicago look so nondescript from the outside, and you walk into a home that looks like a condo building for 3 units, and it actually is a $4 million home with a private elevator. And that sort of subtle uniqueness, I think, is what really makes this market interesting. And as far as what will make the show a success as far as Chicago, I think showcasing the passion and the culture here. I mean, the museums, you know, how high energy the summers are here, all the cultural, the food, the philanthropic things that are constantly going on in this amazing city. You know, there's no way that people aren't going to be interested in that. And when you have brokers like myself that are intimately involved in all those aspects of this community, I think, again, it makes for great TV, and it really allows us to showcase what makes the city great and makes us all want to work so hard to be successful here as brokers.
What kind of personality will we see come out of you in a show? Can you role play some examples?
You know, I'm high energy. I mean, end of story, end of discussion. I'm blunt. I speak my mind. You know, you're never going to get me coming on the camera being dull. You're never going to catch me having a bad day in the sense that you're not going to get energy from me. You know, whether there's a frown or a smile on my face, you're going to get me. every day, all day. And I have no problem being honest, and I speak my mind. And like I said, several times in this video, if I don't like what someone's doing, you're going to hear about it. When my staff isn't meeting my expectations, they're going to hear about it. And I have no problem bringing it up, no problem making sure that my thoughts and wishes and expectations are known. I think there's going to be a lot of drama, and that's just kind of the way I am. I mean, I like it, I live for it. In a lot of ways, it makes me tick, and I think it makes the world and this business and our company here an interesting place to be. So, you're going to see a lot of energy from me, a lot of drama, a lot of excitement, a lot of funny things fly out of my mouth, a lot of crazy things fly out of my mouth. Certainly no shortage of interesting, unique situations.
What do you do, where do you go, and who do you call immediately upon losing a deal?
I think for us, we're dealing with such of a high volume of transactions that you have to keep it in perspective. If every time a deal fell apart for me, I went out and had a couple glasses of scotch, I'd become an alcoholic pretty quick. So I think it's about perspective. Usually for me, that first phone call, though, is depending on what it is. If it's a huge deal that I've really busted my butt on and I want to feel sorry for myself, I'll usually call my girlfriend or my dad and expect some sympathy. If it's a regular run-of-the-mill thing where stuff just happens and you got to deal with it, usually that first phone call is my partner, Lauren Mitrick, and more of it's just a vent and to kind of figure out if there's any ways that we could have fixed it or solved it or kept that deal together. But again, it's a 2-minute thing. You got to take the good with the bad, and you got to be able to roll the punches. And certainly some swearing and screaming and bitching and moaning happens when that occurs. But at the end of the day, you got to be willing to get back on the horse quickly, or opportunities are just going to pass you by while you're feeling sorry for yourself.
What do you do, where do you go, and who do you call immediately upon winning a deal? How do you celebrate, and with who?
That's an easy answer. Always Julie, my girlfriend, or my dad. My dad's been one of the biggest factors in my success, and I love sharing my successes with him. As soon as something good happens, those are my first 2 phone calls, usually something celebratory, dinner, whatever it is, to get together and just kind of celebrate the fact that it takes a village to be successful. And again, you can't spend too much time celebrating any one closing or any one deal that fell apart, because it's all about volume, and it's all about moving on to the next one and making sure that next client who's hoping and counting on you is going to get the service that they need. But again, easy answer. Always my dad, always Julie, the 2 people I care most about in the world. Always first to know the good things and the bad.
How would you describe yourself in one word?
Passionate. Everything I do in the world, the underlying motivation behind it is passion. Whether I'm mad, angry, sad, upset, sleepy, I'm a heart on my sleeve kind of guy. You're always going to know where you stand with me. You're always going to know how I feel that day when I walk in, because I'm just not good at hiding it. My thoughts and feelings about my life and what's going on in it just kind of burst out of me. And if you're going to put me on camera, you're going to see the good, the bad, and the ugly every single day that I'm in, 100%. That's it?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right.